I'm going to do is start channeling. I believe I'm going to connect to the Nihal, and after they're done talking to you guys, you can ask whatever question you want. How you'll decide who asks the question, you guys can decide that amongst yourselves. And what I'm going to do to connect, this is a different process. My process usually included oming up until I connected to the Nihal. The Nihal only includes a breathing, which is very slow. It takes a minute to connect to them, probably longer than it does Treb or Aridif. But, well, I'll let them introduce themselves to you guys and let that go there so I don't take too much time out of being neutral before I connect. So if you'd like to breathe with me, you can continue breathing. I'm going to breathe until I connect. And once I connect, remember what I said at the very first part of the night, that these entities are reflections of your own energy. Any question that you ask them is always going to be colored in the energy and the perception of yourself. They'll give you the answer that is designed for your understanding. So the more you relax, have fun, and enjoy yourself, the more that will reflect back in the answer. So enjoy yourself, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome. Greetings, dear friends.
Greetings.
We are Nihal. We understand that Rob was not filling you in on who or what we are. For some of you, this will be less important than others. But for those of you who feel an importance, we will share. As most of you are aware, your futures hold many paths. There are many probabilities. Who the Nihal are one representation of what humans can be. When we say that you can be us, we mean that if you continue your path as human race growing and expanding, if at key moments in your perceived future history you decide to make the same decisions that we did, you will be us. We will always express that we are the Nihal, that we are you. This holds true and very dear to our heart always. We understand there have been many topics that have been shared here this evening. One that piques our interest is your future. This is our past. This next year of 2015, what does it hold? What energies does it bring forward? We have already shared this view with many, but we will bring all of you into this perception for a moment. We understand that you know that you are consciously connecting to a growth pattern of energy that is beyond the algorithms of your greatest mathematicians, that is beyond the comprehension of many of your society's scientists or figureheads, that truly something as simple as consciousness expanding can be held by such a perplexity to the masses. We understand that you perceive yourselves as expanding beings. This is why you are able to receive this transmission this evening. You all are co-creating such a wonderful energy, such a wonderful intake of heart, mind, and body. The heart, mind, and body complex is one that you will carry with you throughout your entirety. Some of you understand that at certain points of your evolution, there will be changes in the physical body. This is true, but you will always carry an energetic container for your soul's consciousness. Let us talk again directly of your 2015 year. All of you are coming around the corner, as all of you have discussed this evening. We're all connecting to ideas of what growth you desire. Let us ask you a question, dear friends. If you connect to your main excitement, if you connect to the number one thing that you see in your near future, what accompanies this? Is there resistance? Is there an excitement? Or is there both? We can tell you, for those of you with resistance, and I know that when we say this is a very difficult task of where you are right now, but try not to worry about moving forward. We understand what it is to be you. As a collective, we remember the same frantic mindsets that some people are having in these days, and we understand that the frantic mindset is okay. It helps provide growth. If you can align to that energy, understand where it's coming from, you can grow under any circumstance. You see the entities and parts of the world that are going through experiences that, by comparison of most here in the most difficult times of your lives, pale in comparison to the finer points of their life. So you see that pain and suffering can extend past what your perception is of the moment. Knowing that you are growing brings you some comfort. Knowing how you grow brings you some discomfort. We want to be able to communicate with each of you individually, as we feel it is very important to your growth. But before we do, it must be said, your roller coaster energy, the fears of going off the trail, off of the rail, off of your ride altogether, is overbearing some of your minds. It will never overbear your heart if you allow it to be unbared by your heart. You will experience that in this way. let us share with you that many of you are able to turn the minds off for one moment, whether it is during something that excites you, during your sleep, during many points of heightened consciousness, and you are able to turn your hearts on. When you are able to do this, we always would suggest that you remember the feeling of the energy. When you are able to turn the mind off and open the heart again, use the reintegration of the memory of this energy into your existence as frequently as possible. It will help you build an immunity to always going back to your mind as default. And the level of consciousness that you are expanding into at this time, it completely encompasses the heart energy. As much as wisdom helps you, your mind does not often help. In some points it tends to get in the way of many of your day-to-day activities. What fourth density consciousness entails is living with your heart at the forefront, staying in front of the thought patterns that will ail your mind and heart. When you use your heart, you will find many more answers than what we are able to give you. This is where your answers lie. Once you're using your heart to reinforce it with your mind, use your mind to support what the heart knows. When you are able to stop lying to your heart, then your mind will give great support. This is something I can assure you of. 2015 will begin very soon for you. Soon, within the forward progress of your entirety of the planet consciousness, you will not need to celebrate the New Year as you do now. What we can share with you that in this moment, in this exact moment, you may share your new year. Let it be a representation of all of the things that you wish to begin, that once your fear had pulled you away from, that once your hesitation pulled you away from. Let us celebrate this new year together. If any of you have an inquiry, we will take one inquiry from each person. Will you be able to repeat this slightly louder?
I would like to connect in the now with one of my future selves.
In this now moment,
Yes.
close your eyes with us. Breathe and relax your shoulders and neck. What color do you feel within the third eye area? Blue. Is this what your answer was?
For me?
Yes.
Yes.
What does this color tell you?
It's exciting.
When we...
It's fun.
Yes, all of those things are very exciting, very fun. When we feel your energy, we feel many energies connect to us. Focusing on the energy that is Syrian. Use your third eye with the shape of a triangle, inverted, upside down. Do not listen with your ears, listen with your heart. When the question is presented, how may I connect to you? What is your answer?
Blue, upside down.
Yes. Focus upon the Syrian energy, and we will give you one way to connect. You are using the symbol. This energy is coming to you. There is a representation or an expression from the entity that is in your oversoul that says we are connecting to you through your dreams. This is the answer that we are looking for. When you turn your mind down, when you turn your heart upward, the information and energy can flow more directly. Try doing this. Try turning your mind down and turning your heart upward. We will give you one question. Whatever comes to you first, do not hesitate on the answer. Express it immediately as soon as it comes to you. What link do you share with the Syrian energy? This passion is your guide. These feelings that you are having when you focus on what you wish to connect to, these are the keys to connect. Understand that the emotional complex of us as Nihal and us as humans are a much wider scope than many races. Many races keep their energy closed very tightly because they only desire a certain experience. When you are connecting to these emotions as you turn your mind down and your heart up, this is your key, your personal key to opening communication. It can be this easy. If you desire to complicate it, you may. If you desire to do rituals and sing and dance and stand in a circle and light smoke and sing to the rain, you can do all of these things. But it can and will be just as easy as turning down your mind, turning up your heart, feeling these feelings and using those feelings as your pathway. Thank you for sharing with us.
From what point in the future are you?
We are not in physical existence any longer. We have surpassed physical existence. We are over 1 million years in your future. To be more precise, 1,172,000. This is where our consciousness is. In non-physical state, we don't experience the linear time. We don't experience how long has passed. To us, you feel just as new as we did when we separated from the Earth and moved to the new star. When we inhabited Beta Leporis's planet, the fourth planet outward. When we created a co-creation with many, it is just as new. When you look backwards in your own past history, 1 million years ago, this is the connection that is just as new as all. This is how we experience time.
Are you related to the Essassani?
We are not related to them in the manner of your thinking of what relations are, but we are related with all races. We understand them, we connect to them, we interact with them, we know about them. But we are not direct inhabitants of planets that neighbor. We are not directly related in lineage of cousins, brothers, sisters, or mother races. We are only connected at the points where our passions intersect.
So you are non-physical, you are coming from which dimension?
If you look at dimensional planes, this would be the ninth dimension.
Ninth dimension. Thank you.
Yes.
Are you related to the sixth hybrid race?
We are not. We are direct. This time, in this existence, you will never truly be ready for death. You will always have questions in the back of your mind. But there are many ways to make it much easier. To understand what death is, to understand there is a death of nothing but physical matter, and even that does not die as it transitions into different types of energy, then this understanding can be felt in the heart more easily. When you are looking at choosing your own afterlife, much as you do in the physical incarnations, but to a less degree of resistance, then you will see, then you will perceive a lightness within your heart. Understanding and knowing that all things that happen after your physical existence are as free-flowing as it is to be in the higher densities with even less restrictions. All of these beings that you have looked upwards to, seen how they are manifesting more instantaneously, all of these afterlife stories that you have heard from others will make the higher density entities life pale in comparison. You will be able to have freedom, but it is the same as it is upon your awakened conscious mind. You must taper yourself to that degree. You will not die and instantly know all things. You will not die and instantly be able to shift your consciousness into something that feels different or better. It will be a learning process. You will have many of your guides there. You will have many other entities to bounce ideas off of. You will have many other energies to play with so that your comfort level will be much higher. Transition is one thing that scares many humans, and it will for at least another 170 years, until your understanding of how the true nature of physical reality can be mimicked within the quantum level of reality. It will be more of the same. But the more that you learn about yourself, the less as a collective it binds you. Thank you.
Can you tell me or any of us that are just starting to awaken to consciousness something that will help us with our understanding or with seeing, as we are awakening, to understand, to have the clarity of what is?
Yes, we can share many things with many people, but we'd like to direct our hearts with yours for the moment, us two together. When you go through your physical day, there are many things that become frustrating. There are many things that tend to take your excitements offline. We want to tell you how important these excitements are. We know that you have heard this from many people at many different levels, that excitement in itself is something that needs to be done for you to grow. But sometimes you don't know why this is important. Let us share something with you. The way that your oversoul works, when you design your incarnation, when you plan your life ahead, the higher self will always transmit information back to you. When you decide that you want to walk forward and you want to, for instance, teach spirituality to people for the entirety of your life, if that was your plan before you came, then in your life, the higher self will always give you guidance towards that goal that you desire. Now, you have free will. You have free will that can take you anywhere that you desire. It can take you to any point of any experience in any moment. So you are free to do as you wish. But if you want to align with what it was that you came here to do, this is where the excitements come into play. We know that the entities that Rob have channeled before have used a colorful expression that we enjoy. They say that if you're using a red laser and you are pointing out dots on the floor and moving them for the cat or dog to chase, that this is a similar concept, how your oversoul leads you into what it is that you came to do. When you come into an existence, your excitements are the laser. If you follow them, if you place all of your energy there, if you place every moment in excitement without worrying how it will come out, without worrying what's next, without worrying how can my excitements come to fruition under this circumstance or this, you will find that those pathways will take you to many more pathways. That through all of the mazes and all of these specific puzzles that you are having of excitements, that you can always find the right one by choosing your highest excitement. There are many things that you can become excited about if you want. When you do, choose the one that fits you best. Live in that now moment. We know that you all talked about this before we came to connect, that staying in the now or being in the now is very important. It is very important because when you begin to push your sights to the past or to the future, you're giving the energy of the now away. You are not able to manifest in that moment with energy scattered throughout. So it's up to you. If you want to play the game of finding out what your life purpose is, you can. But you may also go through new excitements or other excitements and not stay scripted. Both of those are fine. So many humans that we are aware of in this time, in this moment, the humans that you are aware of, are so hung up on the ideas of if I am doing right or if I am doing wrong. There is no right or wrong. There is only what excites you, what resonates with you, and what doesn't resonate. If you desire to resonate with something, then you can do it on your terms. If your expectations are removed, then you can do whatever it is in this excitement that has led you there in the first place. Focus on the basic concepts of staying in the now, staying in your excitements. This will help you tremendously. And we want to thank you for connecting.
Thank you.
Can you give me some idea on where I'm at in my life right now, like maybe a roadmap in terms of the struggle I feel I'm going through in terms of what I want to create for this next chapter of my life, and specifically like the career. I have maybe 20 years left of my life to work, and I don't feel the excitement that you speak of, like, hey, I want to do this, or I want to do that. There's many things I can do, but I guess I feel trouble that I don't feel this excitement. I'm wondering what's holding me back. Why am I getting in my own way? What is it that I need to heal in myself to move forward?
Yes, and thank you for asking this very important question. What stops the excitement? What is it that makes some not be able to find an excitement? We will tell you. It is the apathetic nature of the collective consciousness and their energy exerting it to many other people. When you're looking at 20 people in one room, there is a small portion of each of them that connect to you. You are very intuitive energetically. You are picking up a lot of other people's energies. Try to shut down your receptors to other people's energy in the way that they affect you. There are many ways to do this. First of all, if you are able to make a symbolism in your mind, something that gives you a feeling of the greatest protection, what would that symbolism be? Of your greatest protection, something that can protect you.
Something that can protect me.
Correct. Yes, your intention can protect you. But what we mean is there are many energies that are bombarding you that don't quite belong to you. Many other energies can affect you on a slighter level. Now there is also your own consciousness, your own mind, your own heart that play parts in this. But others' energy affect those of you who are highly empathetic. Find a symbolism, find the symbol itself that is very protecting in nature. Some look at your mother or father as a protector. Some look at energy, bubbles or fields as protection. Some look at lucky charms as protection. Whatever symbol that you feel most resonant with. When you feel this apathetic nature, visualize that energy. You can encase yourself with it, you can place it in front of you, or you can just place it inside of your awareness. It doesn't matter. Bring that energy to you. Do this every day, just for a little while. See how it affects the change of you. We see many energies come into you. You have to understand that at the point where you are now, there are many more people who are doing what they do not wish to do. This creates apathy. It creates complacency and apathy, and this can rub off on all of you. This can rub off. Try to separate yourself with a symbol. Separate yourself from the apathetic energy. When you're able to do that, you'll find a relief of sorts. Then you have to take things into your own hands energetically. If you don't know what excites you, try everything that could excite you. If you don't have anything that comes to your mind at very first, start speaking to people who are excited. When you look at someone, you can tell if they're excited. Their smile gives it away. Talk to them. What is it that helps you be so excited? What are you excited about? Don't be afraid to reach out for others to show the reflection that is already within you of what excites you. Now what we see inside of yourself is learning and finding a way to take what is being learned and putting it in a visual or audio sense for others to learn. There are many people with different learning mechanisms. Some may read, some may listen, some may watch, some have to do. These are the basic elements of how people learn. Expansion is what you desire. Helping others expand can be an excitement for you. We see that this is one possibility for you. Try to find something that is worth teaching to others. Try to find a pleasant way to express that teaching. Something that's different from what you normally are receiving. This will get your creativity, your ability to learn, your desire to teach and desire to learn. All of these small desires will culminate together and become much larger. Try this, try separating yourself from the apathy, and see if this works for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's your the biggest message you can give to all of us that would touch each and every one of us?
The biggest message that I can give all of you at once?
Yeah, all of us at once.
Expansion, love, these are two things that you are here for. But these are a bit cliche. These are a bit different. How about, does that message reach you? Does that message touch you?
Is that light and love?
It's me giving myself to you energetically. Take a piece of it home if you want.
Thank you.
Hopefully our presence is enough to help ignite the excitements that are already at the surface. Some of you, they're a little more below the surface than you are, and we know. That's okay. Find it by reaching out to others. Find it by co-creating. Ask for one message that fits all. That's a lot like asking me if in this physical body I could run 5 miles and not stop. I do not think it could happen.
Question.
Please.
Do you know what I am thinking right now?
I am not telepathic in this sense because this third eye is not as sharp as we'd like it to
Do you
be.
know what I am feeling right now?
Yes, I know that you're feeling a sense of excitement, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Now the amount of excitement is most definitely up to debate per perception.
I'm sending love.
I feel love, but I feel it coming from all angles. As open as this third eye can be, to be able to astral project, perceive, the level of energy that we bring through this physical body is very effective, but it is not as much as we could use. Once this physical body gets into a higher alignment with the energy that we produce, then the energy amount that we bring through is much higher. You've all seen how the clarity of the voice that we are using now is much greater than it was in the first 5 minutes. We have to adjust this physical body. It's a tool, just as the tools you all have on your cell phones, on your computers at home. We have to use the tools too. This tool is a very open one and a very loving and very great one, but we are just starting to work with this tool. It's a lot like giving a 5-year-old a hammer.
I have a question.
Sure.
Personally, in the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, I've gone through a lot of changes with my reception of guidance. I've gone from years of getting guidance specifically through channeling in personal sessions, and those were no longer available from the entities I was taking them with. To about a year ago or so, feeling direct guidance with Divine Mother, who I was working with before, and recognizing that energy. And most recently, as I began to trust my guidance with what I assume is my higher self, I don't know if that's who it is, and it doesn't really matter, you know. However, it's very soft. It's not, oh, I know exactly what it is, like I did with Divine Mother. So I've had a hard time believing it, but I put my heart out there and believed it, and I've seen that the guidance is true. So for me, so to speak. And what I would like is if that guidance would be stronger, you know, and just firmer, and maybe that's, I assume there's a reason why it is the way it is, obviously, and maybe I just need to go with it and not worry about it being stronger. But is there a way I can make it stronger, which to me seems more useful, as it stands right now? And is that my higher self that I'm getting that from? Or, you know, how does that work? Is there a way to explain it?
Yes, all of these questions, yes, yes, and yes. You have a guidance that is there because your higher self, your heart is connecting to it. It tells you, go there, connect to this. So you did, and you followed your heart, and it led you to a path that was less resistant. But there's not the same level of resonance as there was. Why is this? It's because the message that comes through resonates enough with you to keep bringing you back, but it doesn't feel so resonant because there are parts of you that are not letting go, parts of the ego that have not adjusted to the new transmission levels. Sometimes you're able to watch a channeler 10 times. When you see the first 7, it annoys you, but something brings you back over and over, and on the 8th transmission, it syncs, it finally connects. This isn't nothing to do with your higher guidance not allowing certain in. It's not to do with your lack of ability to understand. It's your lack of energy allowed inward. So once you're able to let go of certain things within yourself, then the energy will flush back to you. Thank you.
I just, my uncle died 4 hours ago, and he was in excruciating pain, physical, and he also had a lot of mental illness and was in pain in that regard. And anyway, I just was, I mean, death is very abstract for me. but it's kind of like, does that kind of pain, does it continue on after somebody's body dies?
The physical pains will never carry on. The only time an appearance of physical pain goes through is when people are not aware that they have passed and they bring back that energy with them. Their beliefs are so deeply set into what their physical illness is and how it affects them, they can bring slight energies back with them that will make them experience physical pain without a physical body. This doesn't often happen. When someone is suffering, the one thing in their highest excitement is to end the suffering, whether it's through medicine, whether even inadvertently in their mindset through death. And when that finally comes, when the physical release comes and the pain is no longer there, most perk their heads up, energetically speaking, and take note. And that's exactly the experience that I feel throughout transitions of many of the entities that you all have been connected with in this room that have died with physical pain before them. They are connecting to the release and an instant happiness, an instant gratitude of no longer suffering. The majority of us, when we die in this reality, in this specific timeline, we are okay when we leave. We are okay to pass that line, whether it's a quick death, slow death, painful one, or likewise. Anything that you are experiencing here, it is quite noticeable when you change. There are some who don't understand. There are some who have bombarded their own minds with ideas of what their religion has told them for so long, that they'll create an experience that is not what they would have created had they never understood religion or never had pre-decided what it will look like afterwards. Afterlife is something that is amazing. It is something that Rob carries great interest. We could speak of it all night, but I think for your question, that should do. Thank you.
Hey, how can you get into a higher state of meditation? Sometimes I get really deep in astral plane and I visit beings like the Watchers, and then other times I can't get to that state. How do you get to that state always?
It is noticing of your own energy before you enter. When you are sitting in your day-to-day life, sometimes you are a little hungry, sometimes you're a lot. And it's because of the energies that you've had from the day. Sometimes there's stress involved, sometimes there's physical labor, sometimes there's a boredom of sorts or apathy. So all of these things can affect how little or how much hunger comes in you. It's the same with your energetic body. When you are meditating, you have to be in a place of alignment, or at least as aligned as you can, so that it transfers over into your experience in meditation. That's the best comparison we can give you. Thank you.
I have a deep question over here. I've been experiencing physical challenges all my life, and I noticed that there's a part of me that is just holding back from life because I'm just waiting to pass over so I can get out of this body. And I'm hoping this is my last lifetime down here because I found it very hard. And if it is, I'd like to know what I can do to overcome my karma and have it be that way. But if it's not, I would like to know how can I embrace being in the body more, being in life more as a sensitive person who's been experiencing physical discomfort almost all my life. I really want to get more involved in life, but there's this holding back.
Sure. Can we ask you a question?
Yes.
What is karma in your mind?
The combination and culmination of acts that I've done, energies that I've put out, things where I may have hurt people, things where I may have helped people, lessons that haven't been learned, enlightenment that hasn't been accomplished, and I've come back to resolve that and become more who I really, really am.
Let's share with you what our perspective is. To us, there is a difference in the way people see karma, law of attraction. Both of these things have different energies or different consequences per action, different energies altogether, okay? So, When we look at karma, we look at a belief system that a human will hold that will tie them to their past lives, energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, all of the energies that are put together in that moment. What we see from our own perspective, from the high seventh density perspective or the ninth dimensional perspective, what we are seeing is that many oversouls have many experiences. If one oversoul has 1,000 human lives, they're all happening at once. There's no past, there's no future. They're all happening at once. Each one has intended something different for their existence. First, one needs to experience what it is to murder someone. Then, the next one has to experience what it is to be murdered. One needs to experience being a father, a mother, a daughter, a son. All of these things in different perspectives, the oversoul wants all of it. The only reason an oversoul exists is to experience. It doesn't perceive bad experiences, good experiences. It doesn't see any conflict between a life where one was supposed to be murdered but ended up murdering someone else. It doesn't care for any of these things. The oversoul only requires, requests, and desires experiences. Experiences on a physical level that they cannot have as non-physical entities without separating and segregating their consciousness in the way that they do. So what this means, if you have 1,000 simultaneous lives, each one of them can do whatever they desire. Many of them are doing whatever they desire without following that excitement or plan, and that each one of them are simultaneous and non-connected to one another. What this means is that the energy that you are feeling isn't karma. This is not what's affecting the physical body. It is because there's a belief of karma there, which allows the energies to flow into you. This is the first reason. The second reason is that because you are connecting to hardships in your life now, that once you did in your previous incarnations, the energy is also carried. The oversoul is fun in a way that you don't have to connect from one part to the next if you don't want or if your energy is not compatible. But you do often connect to many different parts of that oversoul. This is where you'll experience your memories of past lives or memories or dreams of future lives. You're expanding all out at once. When you're choosing a belief system that carries karma, a lot of this will double up on you and will feel more excruciating. If we can share our perspective, and we hope that this doesn't bring offense to you, but what we are seeing in your existence is an entity who has had to experience these hardships. That is one part of the desired request. Again, you didn't have to choose going through specific incidences in the way that you did, with your own mind and beliefs reflecting in the way that they did. But because you have, it has led you down a certain path. Now, if you look at your oversoul's perspective, all of the pain, all of the hardship, it appreciates because it gives it the tools to give back to all the other fractals, to give it to all the other oversouls, to spread it out throughout the galaxy in the entirety of oneness. Your pain and suffering, as difficult as it's been, is a great gift to all that is. It's a great gift to the Creator consciousness as you might perceive it. What you can do to try to help yourself separate from all of those things that you feel, all of those karma energies that are with you, is remind yourself that the only reason they connect is because my belief helps them connect, and because I'm going through those same experiences in other lives. What Rob hinted on earlier is if you share your own love, your own compassion for those other incarnations, it will help segregate their energy from yours. If you accept that they are a different life from yours, that you have to live independently in your own heart and mind, that will also separate some of the energy. And we do not wish to offend or disrespect a belief, but this is our perception. and we are one perception of an infinite love. We'll assure you of that.
How do you bring your creative thoughts into energetic manifestations in this realm, in this world?
In this world specifically,
Yes, in this world specifically.
if you had no beliefs that you couldn't, it would be one thought. It could be that simple. Now that you're into that fourth density, it is that simple. But lots of energies become very troublesome, standing in the way of that instant manifestation. So all the basic things that we've talked about tonight, staying in the moments, excitements, all of those things are good. But practicing your manifestations, that will really help you. It shows you where you're resistant. It shows you where you're succeeding. Start small. This is something that our energy, as it connects to Treb's entire race, has shared with them when they were young third density beings themselves. We shared with them that if you start small in your manifestations, then you're able to see the building of your reality. And when you see it, it makes it easier to push aside beliefs that say you can't manifest. That's where we suggest you start.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many others do you know of your type?
Well, we are a collective. So in this galaxy alone, there are over 500 billion collective consciousnesses. Those are star collective consciousnesses. We are at the level of what you would perceive as 8th density, high 7th density in some ways of counting densities, and also 9th dimension. So if you're comparing our collective to others, there are hundreds of billions just in this galaxy. If you compare it to the universe, it is beyond count or number that we know that you've created from your past. So when we compare, there are many collectives out there. Some collectives that you are already aware of. The entity that some of you have heard that is called Abraham. The entity that some of you have heard that is called the Hathors. Those are all collectives. Those are all a bunch of entities joining up to have one conversation and one thought process. That's what you can think of us as. 10 billion small, highly psychic humans that have medium dark skin and dark orange hair, squeezing ourselves together for one conversation, if that helps you.
Not exactly. I was getting towards, I would like to get a message to Tejba, guide Mark Sims.
What is this name?
Tejba.
And to whom does it connect to?
He is the guide of Mark Sims. He was the guide.
All right.
My actual question takes a while to lay out, and the answer will be very long. I'd like to extend to him an invitation to please join me, to please visit me. I give him full permission.
Yes, your intent's already out there. The issue is with entities, this is something that is a seek and find energy. We're not that good yet with Rob's body. The one that most of you call Treb, he's very good at doing that. Perhaps we'll connect to him to see if it is possible. We'll send our information to Treb while we're talking, and if it's possible for him to connect to that energy, we will let you know. How does that sound?
Sounds great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
My question, I guess, would be, or unless somebody already started. What would help me to open my heart more and to release judgments and to be able to connect with people so that I know that it's authentic for me?
Yes, that's a very, very important question. Many humans in this time and this now, many of us in this time and this now, have a very difficult time opening the hearts completely. That's okay, and that's also understandable. Understand, first of all, why it is that way. We'll talk with you specifically. We'll answer to your energy. there have been times where when you reach out to some, they don't accept. Even though this is subconscious, even though this isn't spoken, you can feel it. Other times it was very conscious. It was very spoken. When you would reach out for someone, they would push you away. You have to understand the point of energy that they're coming from in that moment. It's not out of rejection, lack of understanding, liking you, wanting to connect you. It's a fear of their own self. It's a fear that if they allow you to come into their energy, that they'll also be hurt. So now we have two energies doing the same thing out of fear that one another will be hurt. First of all, removing an expectation of how someone will react in that moment is very essential to building true relationships. If you want to reach out to any other person, if you want to reach out from your heart to theirs, there must be a dialogue and an acceptance of one's answer. How frustrating is it to say, I really enjoy your company, I want to spend time with you, and the answer no being heard? That's difficult. It hurts, it feels as if there's something that is wrong with the collective, with your heart, with your guides, with all of the energies. It feels as if it hurts you very deeply. And we understand that, but that's not the case. If you don't have an expectation, then you won't have a question mark at the end of why they don't want to. You will accept that their decision is there. Each one of you are a sovereign entity. Each one of you deserve whatever journey you want to have. When we start thinking in the terms of trying to change others' thinking, trying to maneuver your own thoughts above importance of theirs, this is difficult. It's very hard to establish a true nature of compassion when you don't like the answer to others' questions or answers. So, first start off with being genuine with yourself. You can tell yourself, I don't want to open my heart to people, and you're not a bad person for that. If you cannot connect to people on that level, that's okay. You're not damned. You won't go to hell. You won't go to a place. Some people perceive this second density negative version or fourth density negative version as so horrible, terrible. You will grow in your growth, and you will enjoy your growth. And you have to be honest with yourself. If you don't want your heart open, if you don't desire a connection to others' heart, if you prefer relationships to be more superficial, you can be honest with yourself, and you're not a bad person for that. But you have to not worry about how others judge you. Now, if you're truly trying to cut through that issue of compassion and compatibility, then what we suggest to you is truly ask yourself, is it okay for me not to accept how the other person reacts during my interaction? And if the answer is yes, it is important, then continue to work on that. Try to relax of the answer. When you ask them, can we be friends? Can I talk to you? Would you like to go to a movie to me? Even if they have already established a friendship with you, you have to be willing to see their sovereignty as an entity, knowing that changing their mind or their heart is not the greatest thing that you can do for someone you love. If you really want to open your heart to the largest degree, if you want to make love the very first thing, it is acceptance. It's acceptance of those things that are for the most part not acceptable to your race, not acceptable to your planet, not acceptable to your collective consciousness, and then say, it's okay. Try to work on that judgment by just looking at the fact that if each person requires a certain reality in existence, who am I to stand in that way? This can help guide you at least towards the very beginning. As we speak to Treb, there is no connection that he is aware of, but his energy is not front and center into Rob's consciousness, into Rob's physical body, interconnecting with the consciousness, but he is passing this information along, and for that connection, it will come back to you. Check your sleep state, Treb says. That's very nice.
Is there an indicator that I can look within myself to know that I'm being authentic with people?
Yes, there's very many ways to do that. When you don't feel bad about what you're saying or doing, you're being authentic. When you don't feel any resistance, you're being authentic. when you're being authentic, it doesn't feel awkward. Your feelings tell you so much things. And we've shared that, Rob shared that, Treb and Aridif have shared that. Your feelings tell you everything. They are your guide to a happier you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If that is it for this evening, then we will tell all of you that we are very grateful to have had the time to interact. It is nice getting used to this physical body and becoming more energetically engaged. And for that, we will say good night to all of you. We are the Nihal and we are you. Good night.
Good night. Much appreciation. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Get any questions answered?
Nice job. Whew. What a beautiful energy, right? Holy moly.
Nope, I got water. That's all I need for now.
It's a special New Year's Eve. Better than we hoped or expected. Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you, everybody. I know we're running a little late, so I'll just say a quick thank you on behalf of Phil and our special guest, Rob. He is great. He'll tell us, I'm sure. I'm very excited to hear his experience of this unbooking that you referred to earlier.
This is my brother from Baltimore.
And Rob is getting us ready to go and all.
Good to meet you.
Would you be so kind to let them know about the EN and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, Enlightenment Evolution Network is the network that I started. Philip's part of it. That's a part of Philip too. You can find it on Facebook if you type Enlightenment Evolution Network. You can also go to trebchanneling.com, which is my website, and at the very end it'll say EN Radio tab. That's EEN. And then you can go there and get the whole schedule of all the shows that are out and available. And you can also look at any work. Aridif has the 10-step program that I was talking to someone about earlier tonight that helps with belief system change. That'll be available within a week or two on the website too. So it'll be under free stuff. So
Highly recommend that.
yeah, it's helpful. It's basically 10 steps that help you evaluate your belief systems, how to bring awareness to it. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier tonight, but it's very thorough and it's very good. So yeah, thank you guys for being so wonderful tonight.
Yes. Happy New Year. See you in a couple weeks. All right.